Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton Ink Effect.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bolton Ink Effect podcast, where my wife, Bridge, and I talk about life, love, and everything else. And yes, it's been a bit slow in the beginning of the year, but we're back in the studio now after much procrastination and bantering between what we should talk about and life and love and everything else. And welcome back, Bridge.
Thank you, Louis. I'm excited that we finally made it into the studio.
You don't sound excited.
No, I am. I'm very excited.
How was your break?
Our break was really good. This island that we live on is extremely beautiful. And we are very lucky that we have the friends that we have, that we could come together and share love and time and laughter and conversation and just reset for the new year. I think it's really important. Yeah. And that we, have our daughter with us.
How are you feeling about 2026?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah. I sort of retrospectively looked at 2025, and for me that was a great year for awareness. And 2026 is a year for, once again, it's, I don't quite know how to frame it yet. I haven't quite landed in 2026, to be very honest with you.
I think that's been a theme for both you and me, is like 2025 was, it's behind us now, it's in the past, but it was a long year and it was a good year. And with lessons learned, it was the first sort of full year of our business. And, we've been having this discussion about what is a business actually, and what we want to do for 2026. And I agree with you, I haven't quite landed in 2026 just yet. But having said that, we're here in the podcast studio and it feels good.
Yeah,
I must say, it's brilliant to be sitting opposite you and having another chat. So this is season 2.
This is season 2.
Yeah. I reckon that, last year we did 16 episodes, not as many as I would have liked. However,
I think 16 was good though.
We've done. That's more than most can say about, just getting it out there and doing it. So I'm proud of us for achieving that. And this year I do want to lean into the podcast more because I see the value in it. I'm trying to see it as a big picture.
I think the big picture is that a podcast gives you space to explore. And very often you can multitask while listening to a podcast. So you can be getting these amazing tools that somebody is talking to you about, or you can be listening to an interview between two people and there are little glimmers of insight for you, and you can do it while you're cooking, you can do it while you're walking your dog. So in this age of we're not quite multitasking. We're quadruple tasking. We're doing multiple things all at once. It seems to have come into its own.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge you on that because you can't actually multitask. But we'll put a pin in that for now.
No, but you know what I mean. You can cook and you can listen.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Back to today.
Yes.
And this is something that you and I have been speaking about or pondering, and it's something that's been on my mind. And we're just like dissecting something fundamental that everyone talks about. But I think few truly understand, and this is the concept of trust.
Why did this come up for you now?
I have been stuck in a phase of inertia. Inertia meaning not wading through mud, but just a real sense of who do I trust around me in a business sense? Who do I trust around me in my close personal space? And what does that actually mean? And I think what led up to this was the concept of being on our devices all the time and seeing these creators on social media or interest media platforms and listening to people and following people, and why I keep going back to those people or those personalities or those celebrities. And it came back down to trust. And it's something that I've been dealing with.
So you trust the views of these people that you follow?
Some of the very few that I do follow, they have earned my trust because they've been consistent and they add value to my life.
Okay.
And in the business that we are trying to build, and let's let's draw a line in the sand here. We don't have a business yet because you and I are basically two freelancers working together, aiming towards a business.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. Yeah,
it's a hard truth to come to because we don't have regular clients. We don't have a regular monthly income.
Yeah.
We're
it does
literally
feel slightly unnoble. It feels much more noble to say, we run this business and these are the skills that we have in this business, and that's how we attract the clients towards us.
Correct. And I think that is still a message that we can go out there because things take a lot longer than you and I have realized. That's one aspect of the learning last year.
Yeah.
But coming back to this trust element is that we need to build trust in our business. You need to build trust in you and me. And we are our own personal brands. Bolton Inc. is a brand. But within that is Bridget Bolton and Libby Bolton. So, I'm not talking about that fluffy corporate buzzword. It's let's talk about the actual mechanics of it. What makes it work, what destroys it, and how we actually build that systemically or systematically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, both actually, because you've got to build the systems that create the trust with your clients, and it has to be something that is systemic within you that attracts people to you.
Correct. So
that people have a sense that what you say is true
and has value, and that you constantly show up. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
And I'm asking you the questions as if you are a guest that knows a lot about this. And the reason I say that is that you've been around the block. What I mean is you have that came out wrong, Bridget. How do I say it? You have years of experience.
Yes, let's keep it to that.
Okay, so I'm saying you haven't just stepped into college. Okay, so bear with me and let's just play with this a little bit. Okay, so
can I phone a friend on questions?
No, you can't, and it's not 50-50.
Okay.
You're it. Okay. So when someone says they trust you,
yes,
what are they actually saying? What's the specific transaction happening in your brain?
When somebody trusts me, what is the transaction happening in their brain?
When someone says they trust you.
Yes, what is the transaction happening in their brain?
What's the specific happening in their brain?
I guess there's something that we pick up intuitively, like there's an energetic thing, which is first and foremost. I
trust you, Bridget.
Which is first and foremost what we go through. I guess there's a sense of vulnerability because this person is going to do what I've asked them to. This person is going to I'm going to do what this person has asked me to do.
Right.
In the right time frame, at the if it's a client, at the right cost, with the outcomes that they're expecting.
I love that. So they believe that you'll act in their interest even when they're not watching.
100%. Because I'm doing the work behind the scenes.
So even if it costs you something, and even if you could get away from not doing so, they're still trusting you to be able to do that task. Or that job, or that request, or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So trust is predicted reliability and perceived benevolence. Okay, so it's math, like you were saying, and it's also heart. All right. So, what's the single biggest trust killer you see in relationships, or business partnerships, or family dynamics? What is the single biggest trust killer?
Not doing what you said you were going to do.
Not doing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
So what does that do to you? So it's mismatched expectations, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they were explicitly stated you were going to do X by X for X. And if that's mismatched or not done, then there's going to be a problem.
But then doesn't that come back to the point of, well, let's be clear about our expectations. So what are your expectations of me and which of those can I deliver?
And if you don't?
Well, when we're upfront, we're having the conversation, that's when you say, I can't do X, Y, and Z.
Okay, cool. So it's that discussion that happens between either yourself and your daughter, yourself, or your husband, yourself, or a business client. Okay, cool. So mismatched expectations that were never explicitly stated, that you think you're being trustworthy by your standards, and then they feel betrayed by theirs. Neither of you said what trustworthy meant in a specific context. So back to your point about having the conversation or almost saying their words back to them. You want me to do X, fill in the blanks by whatever, and this is what I will do. And then follow through.
100%.
Okay,
well,
cool.
if you want to repeat business, if you want to stay in a relationship with your child, if you want to stay in a relationship with your husband, and if you want that client to come back to you, always do what you said you were going to do. Because not everybody allows trust to be broken and then to still come back. Because, because that also speaks to personal strategy. Like I know that I can be let down once and I'll be disappointed. Let down a second time, I'm probably heartbroken, but let me down a third time and that's it. For me, then it's
Literally,
over.
that's it. So you're 3 strikes out.
That's my personal strategy, and I've seen it evolve over my life.
Okay.
And
I'm going to ask the librarian to go back if there's any examples, not now, but some examples. Let's unpack that a little bit later and actually give some examples. So give me the hard truth. Can broken trust actually be rebuilt? Or is it just something that therapists tell people to keep coming back?
I don't think that there is one answer for everybody to that.
Okay.
I really don't.
So a hard truth for you then. Do you think trust can be rebuilt?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it may take time and it takes a lot of proof, but I do think that trust can be rebuilt.
I think
and why wouldn't it?
I think you've hit the word that you used there. It may take time.
Yeah.
Depending on the relationship that you have and the context that we're talking about.
Absolutely, and depending on what it is that's broken the trust.
Yeah.
You know, so we're on scales. You know, if you're talking about 10, where you've taken absolutely everything from me, for example, then I have no need to come back to trust you because that's it.
What do you mean? Sorry, say that again.
Like if I don't know, if you're in a relationship with somebody who is such a fraud that he steals from you or she steals
again
from you
and again and again.
Yeah.
So he erodes that trust.
Yeah. And then, you know, then there's no going back. Like, why would you go back to somebody like that? For me.
Yeah, on a personal, okay, so that's on a more personal, but in a business context, has that happened to you? Or is there something that, because there's certain clients that I won't work with. Like there's just, like it's either a feeling or they have let me down, either by non-payment.
Yeah.
So I'll never work with them again. I don't care how much they are worth to me.
And that's a one-strike thing.
It's a one-strike thing.
Because if they didn't pay you once before, who's
after
to say
the promise.
that they'll, who's to say that they'll pay you again?
Okay. So it's interesting, yeah, but it's harder than building it fresh, I think. Rebuilding the trust once you've been hurt. Once you've been a bit, what's it, once bitten, twice shy.
And also, you know, a lot of people trust immediately and other people need proof before they trust. Yeah. So once again, we're talking about really different strategies here. And if you think about how our personalities are broken down, and you and I have some insight into that when we did neuro-linguistic programming, we have years ago, we have these strategies for how we build relationships, how we fall in and out of love, but also how to improve those strategies. So if something's not working, how to actually deconstruct what happened and put new, better strategies in place. So the formula for me, or that I came up with is, it's like you acknowledge the specific harm, i.e. the trust being broken, plus you demonstrate the changed behavior consistently over time, which was what you were talking about. Plus, you accept it might take 3 to 5 times longer, talking about the time factor, to rebuild than it took to break. So there's no shortcuts. It's not like, oh, just trust me. So those are such easy words.
Yeah, and they're flippant. And I think they used
I mean, how often do we say, no, seriously, trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Okay, cool. I really appreciate that. So I have some tools that I have searched and researched over the time, and I think it's worth going over them so that even for you and me to have some practical tools for the audience and for us to take away. So
in how to build up trust.
How to build up trust. And this can work either with as a parent, as a client, in your relationships, whatever it takes. Look, you have to take the action. I mean, you actually have to do the work. But let's go through it. So,
but can I just stop you? Because
of course you can.
All three
you can
of
always
those,
stop me.
All three of those examples, as a parent, as a partner, and as a client or in a business sense, all three of those, in their own way, have different building blocks of trust.
No, absolutely.
You know, like children, and I'm talking about, you know, normal kind of stable homes, children implicitly trust their parents.
Yeah.
And when that
the first set of role models, or the first set of what that trust, of what trust actually even looks like, because you are the primary caregiver.
Yeah. And when trust is broken at that level by a parent who repeatedly who repeats a certain behavior that is hurtful, what happens to that child's instinct for trust?
Well, it's building a strategy, remember, because it doesn't have a reference for what it's not supposed to be like.
Yeah.
So it has to experience something other than what it's experienced through the parental model. In order for it to make a differentiation, to go, okay, that is not right.
But the child doesn't know.
Correct. So it's a
So the child's
fascinating
just
discussion.
hurting in that situation when the trust is broken. And so, as this child emerges into adulthood, yes, you as the adult have to learn strategies.
Yeah, I mean, we're going down a rabbit hole here, but I mean, the very first breaking of trust is rejection. I cry and my mom comes, as a child. I cry and my mom comes, I cry and my mom comes, I cry and my mom doesn't come. What does that do physically? What does that do emotionally and mentally? It's the first real breaking of trust. I trust that you'll be there all the time. And when you're not, that's where growth maybe happens. But that may be a discussion for another time. Okay, so should we go back to the tools?
Okay,
cool. Please. So here are a couple of tools that I come up with. Work with me or don't work with me, but some of them will work, some of them won't. So the first one is the expectation audit. Okay, and very simply, it's you sit down with anyone that you want to build trust with.
Yeah.
Okay, now this might sound a bit naff, but sometimes you have to almost break it down and do these regressions in order to progress.
Okay.
So sit down with anyone that you want to build trust with, and then each person literally writes down, in this relationship, I expect you to. Okay?
And that's easy to do in a romantic relationship.
And it's 5 or 10 points. It doesn't have to be a whole
Yeah. And in a business relationship, you cloak that differently.
Correct. You could word it differently.
Yes. So in our business, we give a client a brief and say, based on the conversation we have, these are the 10 things that you expect of me.
And this is what I expect of you.
Yes. And in order to fulfill those things, this is your contract in this.
So then you compare the lists.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll find that 70% of trust issues are invisible expectation mismatches. Now, what do I mean by that?
Are invisible expectation mismatches. So you thought X and I delivered Y.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. But I'm still delivering on the expectation, but there's a mismatch. So you've got to be very clear about what you're asking for and what your expectations are.
You're delivering your version.
Yeah. And I recommend that you do this in the next 48 hours with one important person. So you're it after this.
Hell's bells.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
So that's the expectation audit. So number 2, the trust equation. So we make it visible. Okay. So trust.
So can I go back to that step, because I feel like you've skimmed over that. So what if somebody is in a relationship where you haven't done that, and so you haven't done this upfront first step? What did you call it?
The expectation audit.
The expectation audit.
Yeah.
And the person has let you down.
Personally, I would look at that list and then I'd have a conversation of going, okay, cool. If we are going to move forward in the relationship, I expected this of you. You didn't deliver on that. How are you going to change? Or what other or how do I change my expectation of you? So have a conversation. So I think it opens up conversation. Yeah. And let's do a very basic example.
Yeah.
I expect you to. You expect me to take out the trash. Let's just be generic about it.
That's very safe, yes.
Okay. You expect me to take out the trash. How often do you expect me to take out the trash? When the dustbin's full, when the dustbin's half full, whatever the case is. I will do it, but what are the specific expectations of you? Okay? And if I don't do it, will you do it for me, or will you let it slide, or whatever the case is?
Yes, because so once again, there are all of these dynamics that come into this, because then you have the person who is, in the traditional sense, an A-type kind of personality who understands what they want.
You said you would do X.
Yes, but also things that they can, do much like me. I think I can do everything better and I can just do it on my own.
So let's put you to the test. What is one expectation that you have of me right now? This calls for vulnerability, Bridget.
Because I don't really know how this is going to go down for you.
Let's try. We're open. I mean, I could take this out.
So I expect that you will provide for us, because that's what you've said you would do.
financially.
Correct. Yeah. And
what will happen if that expectation doesn't get met?
Yeah, that's what I guess I am in the process of coming to terms with.
And how long do I have? And it's not something you have to answer. I mean,
I don't know.
I am uncomfortable in my own skin at the moment when you say that, because I do want to provide for my family.
And that's what you keep telling me. And so you have created an expectation.
And if I say to you, I can't provide for the family at the moment, which I can't. I'm doing the work, but nothing's coming back.
Yeah, no, January's been a very quiet business month. Yeah. December and January,
which scares me, because it also speaks to self-worth, it speaks to self-esteem, it speaks to self-confidence. It's like, what the actual fuck am I doing? Like, what more do I have to do? And what are the consequences of that? Which is mismatched expectations. Are you going to leave me? Well, are you going to shout at me? Are you going to...
do you want consequences? Or do we just carry on?
So it goes a little bit deeper than that, where you kind of know the context of what I have been through. You may or may not do things differently to what I'm doing, but I think you are witness to that I am trying. So it needs a little bit more exploration, and maybe we can continue this off camera.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'd like to continue this off camera, because I think it'll align us more going forward.
Well, look, right now, I definitely don't want to leave you, because I enjoy sitting in a podcast studio with you. And also, you take out the trash, which I really don't like doing, because you don't have a sense of smell.
And you're a really good cook.
Thank you.
You really are. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Okay, this one's a little bit wordy, but I'm going to go through it. The trust equation. I'm not good at maths, but I'm going to work it out. Okay, so make it visible. So trust, which equals credibility,
reliability.
Thank you. Credibility, reliability, and intimacy, divided by self-orientation.
Perfect.
So how this works is you score yourself 1 to 10 in each area for a specific relationship. Okay, so whether that's your daughter, your husband, or a client.
Okay.
Your lowest score is where trust breaks. So remember, this is the trust equation.
Okay.
So if self-orientation, what's in it for me, is high, nothing else matters.
Okay.
Okay. And the implementation of that is you rate yourself weekly for 30 days and you track the changes. So a practical example of this.
Yes.
The lowest score for me in a relationship with you is that if you stop talking to me. That would be the lowest.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's in it for me is that I need the feedback from you.
You do. You
and
need constant,
the validation.
You need validation.
And the intimacy, i.e. the touch or the reference.
Yeah.
That's the validation for me. That's the self-orientation piece.
Yeah.
If that is low, there's nothing in it for me. So trust breaks. Does that make sense? So I'll go back to the equation.
Yeah. So I don't understand how it breaks trust, though.
Because it's my self-orientation of what's in it for me. I'm not getting what I need. And you can flip it around. If you go back to the very platonic, easy one of the trash taking out. What's in it for you? For me taking out the trash, the house is clean, and and it's something that you don't have to worry about. If I don't take out the trash, what's in it for you? It breaks down trust, because the house starts smelling and things pile up and I'm a lazy shit. Yeah. Okay. I know that's a generalization, but you understand.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a tricky one to get through.
Yeah, because it sounds very...
technical.
Yeah.
Okay. But it has its merits.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
okay.
This is a list of a few. I've got 3 more. So should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the next one, which is small promises, but you keep them religiously.
Yeah.
Small promises kept religiously. Okay. So stop making big promises that you're 80% sure that you'll keep. Rather make tiny promises that you're 100% sure that you'll keep. And I'll give you a perfect example. I'll text you by 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So trust is built in sort of millimeters.
Incremental steps, yeah.
Not kilometers.
Yeah.
It's these incremental, slow little burn
Yeah.
pieces that make up trust and build trust. Okay, so the implementation of this little piece of small promises kept religiously is this week: make only promises you'd bet $1,000 you'd keep.
So I laughed because we all made a promise just before February dawned that we were going to do this 2,000 push-ups in February challenge, and it's now
the 5th of February,
and
funny enough, and it starts on the 5th of February.
Yeah.
So we haven't broken a promise.
But I was thinking about it this morning. Yeah.
So there's a perfect example. Small promises kept religiously.
Yeah.
You know, but there's other layers to this about, can I do a push-up? Are we going to commit to something?
Of course you can do a push-up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying stop about the push-ups. Just hang on
but
a
that's
sec.
an example.
Yes, that's an example.
Okay.
So I can't 100% say that I'll keep it up because it doesn't.
But then why did you promise?
Yeah, to keep the peace, which is no. But listen.
I would rather not have peace and have honesty.
If I said to you, no, I'm not going to do it,
then I would have had to deal with that. It's your choice.
Yeah. Do you want me to do push-ups now?
No, but
it's a valid point.
Yeah.
It's a valid point. It's something worth. We're talking about trust.
Correct.
Are you going to do it? I
often,
don't think I will follow through for the whole month of February. I'll do push-ups, but I'm not going to do 2,000 or whatever the thing is.
By the end of Feb.
I mean, that's a lot of push-ups.
But I just want to go back to something because I think that's quite instrumental. You agree to something because you don't want to let somebody down.
Correct. So I'm 80% sure that I'll do it, not 100%.
So is that easier when you're in a relationship with somebody and you can explain your way out of it? Because you don't do that with clients.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Which...
Okay, so we go back to what I was saying at the beginning. We have different strategies for everything. So how we treat our relationships versus how we treat our clients. So we will never make a promise to a client that you can't 100% keep.
Correct.
Because why? Because your client right now is a meal ticket.
So what makes it any different to a partner? Because
a partner, you can, like, hey, Jose, I explained my way out of these, you know?
I see where the daughter picks up the strategy. But it's an interesting question because the vulnerability is...
You know why? Because I know you know that I'm not just going to leave you.
How do I know that? Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because you know I'm not going to leave you. But I would rather that you were always honest and disappoint me.
Yes.
And, you know, rather than make these promises and then not do it. Because slowly and incrementally, that
millimeter by millimeter.
Exactly, it breaks down trust. So how often are we doing that in our marriages and in our friendships? Because we think that the person will just always accept us, never leave us.
So I'm paraphrasing here, but Esther Perel says that beautifully about you give 100% to your clients and to people outside your relationships, and the partner or the person in your life gets the scraps. Like, why do we do that? Like, why don't I give
Because you can. Because you can.
But then...
Okay, well then I'm out of here. I'm packing my bags, I'm out of here. No, you can't anymore. But I'm not going to do that because...
You love me?
I love you and sometimes I even like you. I like this house, so I don't want to leave it. I don't want Kenzie to come from a broken home, etc., etc., etc.
But it's a fascinating...
Yes.
Topic about, like, you'll do all for the client.
Everything for the client. I would never, ever, I would rather go on a cross, be crucified on a cross than let a client down.
Yeah.
And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
Because my word is, I am my word. But so you're the same.
Yeah, I am the same. But I'm just pondering on what, you know, that like, why do I get...
Like I said, because you can. Yeah. And with a client, because you can't. Because the client won't pay you.
Number 4.
Correct, let's go.
The repair protocol.
Oh, so well, this is interesting.
From when you screw up.
Yeah.
So, name what you did specifically. I said I'd deliver by Friday and didn't. So we acknowledge the impact.
Yeah.
So that probably made you feel ...
Yeah.
Disappointed, let down. No but or justifications.
Yeah, because that's one thing that we do very well.
Very well.
Because I don't think any of us like to take responsibility. We don't like to be at fault. We don't like somebody. Yes, but and why? Because we like to be liked.
And we fear rejection.
Correct. So it's not because we're bad people.
No, not at all.
Or
and life happens. Anyway, so state what changes. Here's what I'm doing differently, or here's what I'm going to do differently. And then the implementation of that is very simple, is use the exact structure next time you break a commitment. So what we're going through here. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, for me, that talks about accountability of like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I actually don't have an excuse.
Yeah, I was lazy or whatever, but don't make petty excuses.
Or I overpromised.
I overpromised and I underdelivered. Okay. Or, you know, if life circumstances happen, but it's about communication. It's about talking. And that, again, goes personal life or with clients. Okay, last one. Vulnerability in small doses. Okay, so share one small thing that's hard to share. No trauma dumping. It's calibrated disclosure. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm actually nervous about this, or I made this mistake once. Creates intimacy, which is 1/3 of the trust equation. Remember, we go back to the trust equation. Trust equals credibility plus reliability plus intimacy, less your self-orientation or self-awareness. Okay.
But do you want to be vulnerable in front of clients and go, oh, I haven't done this before?
I think part of the relationship building, but it depends. You've got to weigh up who your client is and what that looks like. Like I said, creates the intimacy, which is 1/3 of the trust equation. And the implementation of this is share one genuine uncertainty this week with someone you're building trust with. Okay, so, I mean, in my world, there's a potential client that's coming on board that we've started a conversation with. I need to be vulnerable enough to say that I'm uncertain. And there are a few things that I'm uncertain about. I need to maybe share that with them so that they know that that is a concern of mine in order for us to move forward so that it doesn't happen. So we can set up those little conversation pieces and the expectations are met both ways. So there's no mismatched expectation.
And here, while you're talking, I've just had a thought. It's not that there are any concerns about your professional ability, because you stand 100% behind your professional ability.
I do.
It's the content that you are filming that is quite new to you. And so that's where you're able to be vulnerable and say,
I haven't done this before or whatever.
And the person has shared their vulnerabilities with you.
Yeah.
And so together you can say, actually, then we'll just have to feel each other out.
Yeah. The contrarian insight to all of this is that most people try to build trust by being impressive. All right. So that builds respect, maybe admiration, but trust is built by being consistent in small things and vulnerable in specific ways. Okay. So those are the 5 tools that you can use immediately. I'll just run through them again. Is the expectation audit, the trust equation, the small promises kept religiously, the repair protocol, and then the vulnerability in small doses. Okay, so I think those are very practical tools that we can implement in our lives, not in 48 hours time, but now do it after the show, you know. So with that in mind, what I did was I took that, and within our business, which is, you know, a videography marketing business. So this is kind of part 2 of this podcast, but I think it's important because what I've realized over the last, well, it's been for the last while, but definitely since we are building something, we are doing it, is trust building for our business. And so small promises, but public delivery. So this is in the context of what I have been seeing and why I keep going back to those creators on social media platforms or the podcasts or the people that I respect and trust in the world. You obviously being a big person that I trust, I bounce pretty much everything off you. And the reason I do that is because I trust your opinion. I trust your...
Because I'm clever.
Your insight. Most times. That's mismatched expectation right there. But we do.
Am I not so clever?
We do have 26 years of this. You know, we've been through a lot, there are podcasts that I listen to a lot. There are social media people that I follow, and I'm asking myself, why do I go through them? So one of the things that I'd like to do, and I mean, this is an education piece for me, and it's also an implementation of taking action. Because I think what you and I have realized is that we are very good at talking about stuff. Then coming back to the beginning of the year, the motivation is there to build something and to do something. But the discipline is what kicks it into another gear. Mm-hmm. Because when the motivation isn't there, is to have the discipline. Mm-hmm. to follow through. Yeah. We speak about this a lot. And it's something that I'm being vulnerable now that I'm guilty of not doing. So for example, like this podcast, for example, I should have filmed the behind the scenes of the little setup that we've done. I've added an extra camera. So like posting behind the scenes stuff from the shoot today. Yeah. I haven't done that. Yeah. So I've let myself down. So I'm breaking my own trust there, which I can't mea culpa myself for it. I've just got to go, okay, cool. Remember the next time, those millimeter increments of building trust with myself and with my audience. Okay. And then if I'm posting a reel, then be consistent with it. And I'm not saying that I'm going to do 3 a day, but even if it's just at least once a week, funny enough, tried to implement that on LinkedIn, where I've actually put a note in my calendar every Tuesday at 10 o'clock to write a post and to post it.
Oh, brilliant.
And I want to continue that until
the cows come home.
Until the cows come home. Okay. So I'm just going to run through these headings. We don't have to go through the whole thing. So there's small promises, public delivery, like post behind the scenes. There's show your mistakes. So it's calibrated. That's calibrated vulnerability. What I mean by that is like, I took this picture, I cocked it up because I didn't put the flash on the camera. Yeah. So it's quite dark. So I had to go into Lightroom and lift the shadows and play around with it. But I could have done a better job. But that is some of my failures. It's not all just perfect, polished stuff. I'm not just going to show you all my
the perfection.
Perfection, okay? Then there's client expectation management, which is public. So this is like when you create content, or I need to create content, what do you expect when you hire a videographer? What does that even mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? And something that I take for granted because I've been doing this for so long is I'm realizing that when you say you need a videographer, clients don't necessarily know what that actually means. So, we have a chat, we get in front of camera, we record your story or your brand or your whatever the case is, then we edit it, there's a revision, and then you put it on your website or your social feed or whatever the case is. Like that's all natural for you and me, but for some clients, they just got no clue. So we need to solve that problem. Yeah. Okay. So I want to be that problem solver. Yeah. Demonstrate the process. Yeah. What it is, the setup of the podcast, the lights, the camera, the audio, you looking stunning. I just rock up and try and look as good as I possibly can.
And I think that's important because sometimes that becomes an education piece for somebody else.
And authenticity and there's a human being behind this, Yeah. It's not for everyone, but I think it's important in terms of building trust as a videography business and marketing business. So micro commitments that convert. So for example, the people that do make a comment or share a like or share, just thank them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just acknowledgement. Just acknowledgement of 100%. I appreciate you being here. Social proof with specificity. Specificity. Say that 3 times. Social proof with specificity. So not great working with Sarah, but more kind of Sarah needed her corporate video in 5 days for a board meeting. We delivered it in 4, and this is how we did it.
I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, sorry, you threw me when you said it wasn't great working for Sarah.
Yeah, sorry. So social proof with specificity.
Yes. So don't just say great working with X, Y, Z. Yeah. Say she was great because she did this, and this is what flowed, and this is how we were able to achieve the goal.
Exactly. Yeah. So specificity is the credibility, meeting the tight deadline equals reliability.
And also, if she was great. That's actually just laziness.
Vacuous.
Yeah.
It's vacuous.
Yeah. And nobody even reads that anymore.
No, exactly. Yeah. So lower self-orientation publicly. So share values with zero ask.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Lower self-orientation publicly. So share value with zero ask. Here's how to get a better phone video for your business, even if you never hire me. just bring down the contrast on your phone. Hold your...
Yeah.
So what I'm saying...
So why don't you do that?
Exactly.
So answer me, why don't you?
I don't know, because it's been done. So I'm a bit lazy in that regard. But I need... This is a mirror looking back at me. Okay, recommend competitors for jobs that you can't take. Trust equation, again, is your self-orientation drops, your trust skyrockets.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Share the knowledge, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I think we're trying to do that.
Because also there's a man for every job.
Correct.
The
pie is big enough.
100%. So you don't need to keep it closed.
The pie is big enough. Okay, so I'm going to end with this.
Yep.
And then...
are these some more wise words?
These are very wise words.
Okay.
So here's what we forget. No one wakes up wanting to hire a photographer. They wake up with a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So a wedding that needs to be remembered, a business story that needs to be told, a moment that's slipping away.
Mm.
You're not selling camera skills. You're selling the end of worry. And worry ends where trust begins. Trust begins when you show up. Not perfectly, consistently.
Mm. Good ending, like that. Thank you, Louis.
I hope this added some value to you and to you. Yeah, I think I've opened myself up to taking some big action steps and getting a system in place that I can actually, carry on building this, because we're starting.
Yeah.
And we can do this more. So as the first one, thank you for listening. Please, if you have any comments, just give us a thumbs up. I don't mind if you say it was crap, it was good, or whatever the case is. I know this will mean something to someone, so share it, like it, don't like it, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. And remember to be a little bit more kinder to those around you and kinder to yourself. Thanks.
Dun-dun-dun.
Brigitte.
Can I ask you a question?